My wife lied to the cops about my stepdaughter. A couple of days ago, my son Jay, 17, showed up at my workplace, upset and in tears. He informed me that my stepdaughter Kay, 19, had come home with a load of new stuff, and when he checked his room, the money he had been saving was missing. Kay doesn't hold a job, and whenever she gets money, she spends it as if it's burning a hole in her pocket. My supervisor permitted me to leave work early, so I went home to ask Kay who took her shopping. Kay claimed she used her own money. I insisted on the truth, but she told me to mind my own business. Jay has been working at Papa Murphy's and has been setting aside his earnings. He was saving to surprise his friend's dad, Bo, for his first birthday without his son. His friends had given him money to load onto his card to pay at the pump. It's happening this weekend for 2 days, and they were planning to treat the dad. Most teenagers would save for their first car or trendy clothes, but he simply wanted to be there for his friend's dad. Instead of arguing endlessly with Kay, I checked the camera we used to monitor the dogs. It only showed her legs, but it was clearly Kay entering Jay's room. The rule in our home is that we don't enter each other's rooms out of mutual respect for privacy. I informed Kay she was caught and needed to gather everything to return it all. Kay began making up excuses. I saved it for months. How do you know it was me? Someone must have broken in. Her mom arrived home and Kay started crying, claiming we were ganging up on her. I showed my wife the footage and explained what happened. Kay ended up saying, "Why does he get to have all the money anyway? He worked tirelessly for it." I told my wife she needed to make Kay return everything, but she refused, saying it would be humiliating to return it all, and that when Kay found a job, she would repay Jay. I said, it'll be more humiliating when she gets arrested for stealing $400. We argued, and I told my wife that Kay broke a non-negotiable rule as well as the law by stealing. She is 19, doesn't pay rent, and needs to leave. My wife stated, if you kick her out, I'm going too. So I asked if she was prepared to replace the money stolen. We maintained separate bank accounts. Force Kay to make restitution, or if she could provide her share of the rent early, we split all expenses. The answer was no. They gathered a few bags and departed. I wasn't going to yank the bags from her. I didn't think getting physical was the wisest choice. Before you judge me as the asshole, I don't have spare funds for him to still travel. I can only return the small amount to his friends, and it's insufficient for the trip. He went to bed hungry and is devastated. I posted in a sub, "Am I the a-hole?" and got inundated with people saying I should have contacted the authorities. So, this morning, I did exactly that. The outcome was the officer calling my wife to ask her to bring Kay to the station for a chat, or she could return the items and reimburse Jay. It was more of a scare tactic because I was told it's a civil issue. My wife blatantly lied to the officer and said she handed the money to Kay. Without concrete evidence of Jay's money, no proof other than her entering his room, nothing can be enforced. I'm livid. I watched Jay's heart shatter at the station. Through tears, he asked, "How could they do this to me? What was this all about? I just wanted to visit Bo's dad." Jay is my son from a former relationship. I had to remind him about not keeping large sums of cash in his room, but he didn't expect it would be stolen. My wife and Kay have support, staying with relatives, so this situation won't burden them. Update. I understand many are awaiting an update after reading my original post. It was removed due to excessive comments about money, so please refrain from mentioning crowdfunding or GFM. I'm unsure if this update will remain up before it's taken down. I won't delete the posts. In case you didn't see my initial post, reach out to me if you want to read it. My 17-year-old son had spent all summer saving up to visit his dad's friend on the first birthday since Jay's friend passed away. I wasn't aware he kept so much money in his room. Otherwise, I would have advised him to stash it in the safe, but I'm not going to blame him. My son should not have to fret about someone stealing from him. In our home, the rule is nobody enters each other's rooms. This applies to parents as well. It's more about mutual respect than a strict rule. My 19-year-old stepdaughter took his money. Her mom refused to make her return the things she bought, and I nearly seized the bags from her. But I'm relieved I didn't because my wife lied to the police about the money, which means she could have easily lied about me being physical with her. The police described it as a civil issue since my wife claimed she gave Kay the money. This was untrue. My wife threatened that if I expelled Kay, she'd go too. I didn't hold them back. My wife and Kay have support from staying with family, so this won't impact them. This weekend, my wife returned with a sheriff in tow. She came prepared with receipts proving she purchased the furniture in our rental, and that's all she needed to take everything. I attempted to explain that I contributed cash for some of the pieces, but guess what? Like with Jay, cash leaves no trail. Her family helped her move out in less than an hour. Given how swiftly everything occurred, the skeptic in me thinks my wife planned this well before the incident. My wife got in touch with the landlord and paid a hefty amount to terminate the lease, almost twice the money Kay took. But of course, worse, she didn't consider reimbursing Jay. After everyone left and my landlord called, I had a minor breakdown. Everything was happening quicker than I could process, and it honestly felt like I was watching a film. Jay approached me and said, "I'm so sorry you lost everything because of me, and it's not a big deal. I'll tell Mom it's okay if Kay needed it more than me." That's all I needed to snap out of it. I told him he means everything to me. Not her, not the house, not the furniture, not the food in the fridge. Yes, super cheesy, but there's nothing my wife can do, say, or give me to make me overlook or be okay with what they did to him. I asked him, "Are you going to feel comfortable around them? What about when you are away? I don't want you to worry about what will she steal next." Kay is not going to get away with this. My wife made a decision when the officer asked her about Kay. She chose to defend and protect Kay just like I am choosing to protect Jay. If Jay isn't comfortable, I'm not comfortable, and I told him that. The people in my life have been attacking me online, saying things like, I'm uncomfortable that he would choose his son over his wife, and his son is almost an adult. It's time to grow up and be a man. It doesn't matter what age I am, I will always protect Jay. I blocked everyone after that. Yes, he is almost an adult, but that doesn't mean it's okay to steal from him. Experiencing a crime or something bad happening to you isn't a rite of passage to adulthood. He is a responsible, hardworking, honest, kind, almost man, but he is also the 8-year-old who used to run to me every day after work with a huge smile like I hung the moon. I cannot afford the full rent, so luckily my landlord has agreed to let us leave by the 1st. The only place we have to move to is my mom's across the state. This means I have to take Jay out of his last year of high school and transfer him. I have to sell what little we have left here, and that might include selling Jay's old car. But the silver lining is that Jay and I can transfer jobs. Mama has always been more of a mother to Jay than my wife. Moms are healing at any age. I'm not saying I'm not devastated, that I'm not suffering emotional whiplash, and I'm not saying the things that are being said about me in real life aren't affecting me, because they are. But my son needs me. He is still grieving his friend, missing his senior year with his friends, and I'm not the type of parent to say, because I said so, or we are moving, and you don't get a choice or opinion on it. That isn't me. Edit. Please keep it civil in the comments. I don't want this removed because many people have been asking for an update. The furniture she took was purchased before we got married, except for the couch and TV. We split all expenses. We were only married for 2 years. She is an accountant who saves every single receipt, even if it's just for water. Guys, good grief, this is my last edit. I'm not upset about her taking the items she took. I only mentioned it because my son thought I lost everything. Honestly, she did me a favor. I have to drive clear across the state to get to my mom's, and I wouldn't be able to afford to store anything large since apartments have long wait lists. I do not care about what she took. Update. If you had told me roughly 20 days ago that I would be searching for a decent divorce lawyer who doesn't require a retainer fee, I would have laughed in your face. For Jay's sake, I'm not going to expose you on social media, but I won't hold back if I'm asked about it. Your friends and family support you and can't believe I would endure the shame and embarrassment of a divorce. It's mind-blowing that I'm being blamed for this. Nobody cares about Jay except me. Y'all have shown your true colors. I realized that your people are the kind who victim shame. Well, what was she wearing? Was she flirting with him? Did she let him buy her drinks? Type of people. You are who you associate with. It's not our fault your dad is broke. Jay should have hidden it better. Finders keepers. I'm uncomfortable that he would choose his son over his wife. Why did he have so much cash on him anyway? What did he think was going to happen? That one stings because what the fuck? He thought his belongings were safe in his room? It never crossed his mind that there could be a chance of him getting robbed. Kay broke a household rule by entering Jay's room. She turned his room inside out, hunting for cash, and once she found it, she carefully put everything back in its place. Then, she took the money and went shopping. When she was discovered, she got an attitude and told me to mind my business. When I asked her where she got the money, because she can't hold on to more than $5 before it burns a hole in her pocket. She played the victim and cried to you when you got home, saying she was scared of us for ganging up on her. She wasn't scared. She isn't regretful. She doesn't give a damn. Kay is a fucking sociopath. Kay committed petty theft. I'm not going to tell him that he will make new friends at his new school, that it might be for a year at most, or that in the grand scheme of life, this really isn't that bad. I don't need to remind him that there are kids who have it worse, that he just needs to get over it because he's just a kid and I'm the parent, so what I say goes. He has to start his senior year at a new school. I have to pull him away from the friends he's been with since kindergarten. He cried with me when I told him we would have to temporarily rehome our pets because Mama can't have pets at her place, which is where we're moving to. So I'm going to sit with him in the yeah, this fucking sucks of it. He came into my room with a bag of Swedish fish to share and told me it was okay to give up on staying here. He said he was sorry that you weren't the woman woman I thought you were, and that it must really hurt me. He also joked that at least we won't have to eat any more of your unseasoned cafeteria food. We can't stay in our home because you have better credit than me, so the landlord is insisting on an additional security deposit for a new lease. I've been reaching out to animal shelters to gather information on temporary foster homes because my mom's place doesn't allow pets, and we can't remain here. Just know there will come a time when you metaphorically, or possibly literally, can't rescue Kay. You are doing her a huge disservice by enabling her and cleaning up her messes, as she isn't learning any life skills. No one appreciates a spoiled, entitled brat. Lord have mercy on her when she faces her first real dose of karma. So, Reddit, this is my final update about this. I know many people were curious about what happened. Kay is still not being held accountable, and my soon-to-be ex has moved in with her co-worker, who I believe she has been having an affair with. They are fine. They are thriving. Their world isn't shattered like ours is. We have to give up our pets and move hours away to live with Mama until I find us a new place and save up. It's not fucking fair. New post. Today, I attempted to fill up my car using my emergency credit card. This weekend, I need to drive to my mom's to drop off the first load of stuff so I can safely live out of my car without raising suspicion. My card was declined. I called customer service thinking it was denied as a security measure because I haven't used it in months. It's truly an emergency card, but since I have $9 to my name right now, I needed to use it. The representative tells me it was declined because it's maxed out, and if I want to use it, I must make a payment. My card was used at Sephora, the same day Kay stole Jay's money. She spent my $500 and Jay's $400 on fucking makeup. I asked the rep why I wasn't notified, as it was a suspicious charge, and I was told they tried. I found out the phone number on my account was my wife's. There was an online account for my card that I didn't create. I have kept my and my wife's finances separate. She was not on my card. I reported the fraud with the representative, but won't get the money back until after an investigation. I went to Sephora and pretended I was purchasing something for my daughter, but wasn't sure what she preferred. After a few inquiries, they accessed her beauty insider information. She is a rouge, whatever that means. I asked about the return policy and then left. I'm so infuriated. After a heated call with my wife, she blocked me. I don't know their location, or I'd show up to retrieve the stuff for return. My wife and Kay moved in with a co-worker who I suspect she was having an affair with. Once again, these women are living their lives without interruptions, leaving nothing but heartbreak for Jay. I now have to sort through our belongings to find items to pawn for gas money to get to my mom's, but Jay will have to come along because I can't afford a second trip back. No homecoming dance with his friends because a sociopath can't keep her hands off other people's money. I place my wallet on top of the fridge the minute I enter the house. I still have the physical card. How long does an investigation take? Since we are married, is she allowed to use my card or let her daughter use it without my consent? When I went to the police station regarding Jay's money, I was informed it was a civil matter. The officer's solution was to call my wife to bring Kay to the station to talk, sort of a scare tactic, but my wife lied outright and said she gave the money to Kay. Should I report the credit card to the police, or will it be a waste of time? We live in Nevada. New post. Around 8 a.m., I started receiving numerous texts from my stepdaughter. I thought it was an emergency, like someone had passed away or something serious because I can't remember when she was last awake before noon. She was telling me she had a package delivered to the house today. She asked me to contact the landlord to pick it up because when she tried, the landlord wouldn't give it to her. She wants help to retrieve a package she used my credit card to purchase. Today marked my last day at my job before relocating 6 hours away to stay on my mom's couch because she stole from my son and me, resulting in my decision to divorce her mom. Text after text nearly demanded I do it immediately. After work, I went and got it. It had my name on it. She put it in my name to prevent it from being flagged by my credit card company. It was a partial delivery from her shopping spree, with items that had been back-ordered. It was a box of cosmetics from Sephora. I opened it since it was under my name. It was over $200 for 4 small items, along with a bunch of little samples. I snapped a photo of it and sent it to her. She began thanking me and saying I saved her night out because she ran out of foundation. She spoke to me as if we were best friends, all enthusiastic. My jaw dropped at her audacity. She ruined my son's senior year, and she thought I would assist her so she could go out tonight with her friends. She ignored my son when he pleaded for his money back, but had the nerve to ask me for help. I took it to Sephora to get a refund, but since the card used to purchase it was frozen closed, I couldn't get cash. The worker said she could return it for store credit to Kay's account. Absolutely not, I thought. No way. So I donated it to an organization that helps women prepare for job interviews so they can get back on their feet. I texted her that they said thank you and that it would truly make a difference since donations were scarce. She lost it. She cursed me out for giving away her things, threatened to call 911 if I didn't retrieve it within an hour, and claimed she would go get it back. What kind of person tries to reclaim a donation from those in need? Saying I ruined her night because she lacks foundation makeup, and how dare I think it's okay to do this to her. The last and only text response I gave was, I would probably avoid the police right now, especially since mommy is out of town for work. Who would bail you out? I received a package for her that I wasn't even aware of, which ended up adding more fuel to my fraud case. I posted about this on another sub, but after finding this one, I think it fits better. New post. My post history will give more context, but my wife and I are separated. We will be divorcing. Tonight, my son decided not to stay with his friend so he could keep me company in the car. He has 2 days left of school before we move. My son started crying and handed me his phone, which had my wife's Facebook page on the screen. There were many posts criticizing me and saying how it's strange that I chose my son over her. The latest post said, I need someone to tell E that he needs to stop Jay from contacting me, please. He is complaining that his pants don't fit for homecoming and that he doesn't have money to go to dinner with his friends. I do not care, and I am not his mother. He is trying to get Kay in legal trouble for money. I'm not helping, so cry to someone else, dude. I shortened the names, but that is what she posted. I didn't know my son was still trying to talk to her about getting the money back. Who embarrasses a kid for wanting his money back so he can enjoy his last homecoming? I made him block her, but the damage was done. I vent here, but no one knows who I am on Reddit. My wife's Facebook has family, close friends, and a few parents of his friends. He said it was hurtful to him because people were agreeing with her and laughing. Why would a parent do this to a child they once loved and cared about? How do I make things easier for him? He isn't typically a crybaby, his words. I know things will work themselves out. I'm sitting with him through the this freaking sucks. But what more can I do? Less than 6 months ago, a good friend took his life. His stepsister invaded his privacy and stole the money he had been saving so she could go shopping. I have to pull him out of his last year of high school to transfer because we have nowhere else to go. He is temporarily losing his pets because my mom's place doesn't allow them. This is a lot for a kid, and I'm just worried. His biological mother hasn't been in his life since he was 4. I hate seeing how hurt he is. New post. I reported the fraud to the representative and figured as soon as they saw the charges weren't from me, I'd get my money back. I told them the charges were fraudulent. Not even a week later, I started receiving a lot of texts from my stepdaughter. I thought it was an emergency, that someone had died, or something serious, because I can't remember the last time she was awake before noon. She was telling me that she had a package delivered to the house today. She asked me to contact the landlord to pick it up because when she tried, the landlord wouldn't give it to her. I was almost in awe of the audacity of her calling me for help. Help her get a package she bought using my credit card. She ignored every text and call from Jay, begging for his money back, yet thought it was perfectly fine. I went and got the box with the intention of returning it myself for a refund. It had my name on it. She put it in my name to avoid it getting flagged by my credit card company. I took it to Sephora to get a refund, but because the card used to purchase it was frozen closed, I couldn't get cash or refunded. The girl working said she could return it for store credit to Kay's account. Absolutely not. I took the box to an organization charity that helps women prepare for job interviews so they can get back on their feet. This was a mistake. Today, Oct 7th, I was told my fraud investigation was denied, that the orders were in my name, sent to my address, almost a month delayed in reporting it, and because I donated the box of stuff, it meant I showed ownership of stolen goods. I'm now the one stuck with the debt built up on that card, and I can't use my emergency credit card until I pay it off. I'm beyond screwed and about to be overdrawn in my bank account. When I contacted the police about the money she took from my son, my wife lied, claiming she had given that money to her. My wife also said she let Kay use my card. We didn't even share bank accounts, let alone credit cards. Does being my wife give her the right to allow her daughter to use my credit? What should I do? File another claim? Do I need a lawyer to sue my stepdaughter? New post. Many people on my previous posts wanted an update, and I finally have one. A quick refresher if you can't see my post history. My stepdaughter took hundreds of dollars from my son. My wife wouldn't make her return the items she bought and lied to the police, saying she gave the money to her. I chose my son over my wife and Kay. I promptly kicked Kay out, and my wife left with her. My wife ended our lease early, and I was living in my car while my son stayed with a friend so he could attend homecoming week and his senior homecoming dance with his friends. The plan was to move across the state to stay on my mom's couch because she's the only family we have. Jay Jay was heartbroken, but there was no other option, or so I believed. The day I was supposed to take our first load of things to my mom's, I discovered my emergency credit card was maxed out by K on makeup at Sephora. This was a blessing in disguise because while I waited for the fraud investigation to clear, I found a place I could afford just 5 minutes from the school. Jay gets to stay with his friends at the same school and gets to start back at Papa Murphy's, where he worked all summer. I'm officially filing for divorce. I'm pressing charges on behalf of Jay and myself against K for the theft. I have audio recordings, messages, emails, and Facebook screenshots that my lawyer says will be a slam dunk. The only truly heartbreaking thing is we can afford just one pet deposit, so 2 of our animals have to be surrendered. All 3 pets have been with a foster, but it isn't working out, so we have to give up 2. This will be the last extremely difficult decision we have to make for a while. I'm eager to heal and move on from the toxic partner I married and her annoying daughter. Despite her pleas and attempt to publicly humiliate me on Facebook, I will never forgive her for this. She thinks I should be ashamed for getting a divorce, but I would feel more ashamed staying with her after she showed no regard for my son. It's not just a new chapter. On Tuesday, Jay and I start our new book of life. Update: pet deposit is paid. So happy you all get to stick together. The fur kids are officially safe. Much love to you all. 5 days ago, my non-profit Milo's House did just that. Today is move-in day for the whole family. Edit. You guys, thank you so much for the kind words, awards, and even some donations to my non-profit Milo's House. I'm hoping this is just the beginning of a lot of good karma to come back to Dad of the Year and Jay's lives. Keep spreading the love, and I hope that you all are having a wonderful day. Milo's House paid for 2 out of 3 of them, which was awesome. I'm so thankful. It seems like a few people made donations to the charity because they helped me, which means more fur babies get help.